Good morning and welcome back to Shine Bright. We're going to stretch for up for 10. Up, up, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to touch our toes for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And our last 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that was a good stretch. And we're going to twist for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And I hope everyone is doing well on today. I hope everyone is being obedient, listening to their mommies and daddies, doing all of your homework, keeping your room clean, eating your fruits, eating your vegetables, and drinking your water. And I must apologize for some of the pictures I was showing you from the original Mother Goose, where I was lifting the book too high and the pictures were getting cut off and you weren't able to see the full pictures. My apologies, boys and girls. And hello. Hello. And how are you? Shine bright, my bright light, shine bright. My bright light, shine bright. My bright light, shine bright. My bright lights. Oh, let your light shine bright. Hello, my lightning bugs. Hello, my lightning bugs. Hello, my fireflies. Hello, my fireflies. Okay. And today we have more nursery rhymes from the original Mother Goose, based on the 1916 classic with pictures by Blanche Fisher Wright. So we're going to be reading more of the original Mother Goose. We're going to pick up where we left off. I have to look for my bookmark. Okay, I found my bookmark. So our first nursery rhyme for today is called Sulky Sue. Here's Sulky Sue. What shall we do? Turn her face to the wall till she comes to. And next nursery rhyme is titled The House That Jack Built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the dog that worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cow that crumpled horn that tossed the dog that worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the maiden all forlorn that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the priest, all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cook that crowed in the morn. I'm sorry, this is the cock that crowed in the morn, that waked the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the farmer sowing the corn, that kept the cock, that crowed in the morn, that waked the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt, that lay in the house that Jack built. And that, boys and girls, was the house that Jack built. Our next nursery rhyme is titled Saturday, Sunday. On Saturday night shall be all my care to powder my locks and curl my hair. On Sunday morning my love will come in, when he will marry me with a gold ring. And I hope I put the pictures where you can see them. Last time I was holding them too high. Okay, I hope y'all saw the pictures, boys and girls. As I turn the page, I'm seeing a picture that says the old woman and the peddler. Our next nursery rhyme is titled Little Jenny Wren. Little Jenny Wren fell sick upon a time. In came Robin Redbreast and brought her cake and wine. Eat well of my cake, Jenny, drink well of my wine. Thank you, Robin, kindly, you shall be mine. Jenny, she got well and stood upon her feet, and told Robin plainly she loved him not a bit. Robin, being angry, hopped upon a twig, saying, out upon you, fie upon you, bold-faced jig. Our next nursery rhyme is titled The Old Woman and the Peddler. There was an old woman, as I've heard tell. She went to market her eggs for to sell. She went to market all on a market day, and she fell asleep on the king's highway. There came by a peddler whose name was Stout. He cut her petticoats all round about. He cut her petticoats up to the knees, which made the old woman to shiver and freeze. When the little old woman first did wake, she began to shiver and she began to shake. She began to wonder and she began to cry, Lawk a mercy on me, this can't be I. And let's take a look at the pictures. Okay, and as we turn the page, oh, I'm sorry, boys and girls. There was more to the old woman and the peddler on the next page. But if it be I, as I hope it be, I've a little dog at home, and he'll know me. If it be I, he'll wag his little tail, and if it be not I, he'll loudly bark and wail. Home went the little woman, all in the dark. Up got the little dog, and he began to bark. He began to bark, so she began to cry. Lawk a mercy on me, this is none of I. Okay, our next nursery rhyme is titled Bobby Snooks. Little Bobby Snooks was found on his books and loved his usher and master. But naughty Jack Spree, he got a black eye and carries his nose in a plaster. Our next nursery rhyme is called The Little Moppet. I had a little moppet. I put it in my pocket and fed it with corn and hay. There came a proud beggar and swore he should have her and stole my little moppet away. And on the next page, boys and girls, we have a picture that's titled, Hark, Hark, the dogs do bark. And here is a look at the pictures. Okay, as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is titled, I saw a ship a-sailing. I saw a ship a-sailing on the sea, and oh, it was all laden with pretty things for thee. There was comfits in the cabin, and apples in the hold. The sails were made of silk, and the masts were made of gold. The 24 sailors that stood between the decks were 24 white mice with chains about their necks. The captain was a duck with a packet on his back. And when the ship began to move, the captain said, quack, quack. Our next nursery rhyme is called A Walnut. As soft as silk, as white as milk, as bitter as gale, a strong wall and a green coat covers me all. Our next nursery rhyme is called The Man in the Moon. The man in the moon came tumbling down and asked the way to Norwich. He went by the south and burnt his mouth with eating cold peas porridge. Here's another one that says, and burnt his mouth by eating something cold peas porridge. Silly nursery rhymes. Don't they know that you can only burn your mouth when you eat something that's hot? You can't burn your mouth by eating something that's cold. No. Our next nursery rhyme is called One He Loves. One he loves, two he loves, three he loves, they say. Four he loves with all his heart, five he casts away. Six he loves, seven she loves, eight they both love. Nine he comes, 10 he tarries, 11 he courts, 12 he marries. Our next nursery rhyme is called Bat, Bat. Bat, bat, come under my hat, and I'll give you a slice of bacon. And when I bake, I'll give you a cake, if I am not mistaken. Our next nursery rhyme is called My Love. Oh, I skipped one. I skipped two. Our next nursery rhyme is called Hark, Hark. Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. Beggars are coming to town. Some in jags, and some in rags, and some in velvet gown. Next we have the heart. The heart he loves the high wood. The hare she loves the hill. The knight he loves his bright sword. The lady loves her will. Now we have my love. My love, saw ye aught of my love a-coming from the market? A peck of meal upon her back, a baby in her basket. Saw ye aught of my love a-coming from the market? Our next nursery rhyme is called The Man of Bombay. There was a fat man of Bombay who was smoking one sunshiny day, when a bird called a snipe flew away with his pipe, which vexed the fat man of Bombay. And pictures. Okay. We're turning the page. And our next nursery rhyme is called Poor Old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. They made him a coat of an old nanny goat. I wonder why they should do so. With a ring-a-ting-tang and a ring-a-ting-tang. Poor old Robin Crusoe. Our next nursery rhyme is called A Sieve. A riddle, as I suppose, 100 eyes and never a nose. Next we have My Maid Mary. My maid Mary, she minds the dairy, while I go a-hoeing and mowing each morn. Gaily run the steel and the little spinning wheel, while I am singing and mowing my corn. Next we have a difficult rhyme. What is the rhyme for porringer? The king he had a daughter fair, and gave the prince of Orange her. Our next nursery rhyme is called Pretty John Watts. Pretty John Watts, we are troubled with rats. Will you drive them out of the house? We have mice too in plenty that feast in the pantry. But let them stay and nibble away what harm in a little brown mouse. Next we have good advice. Come when you're called. Do what you're bid. Shut the door after you and never be chid. Our next nursery rhyme is called I Love Sixpence. I love sixpence, a jolly, jolly sixpence. I love sixpence as my life. I spent a penny of it, I spent a penny of it. I took a penny home to my wife. Oh, my little fourpence, a jolly, jolly fourpence. I love fourpence as my life. I spent 2 pence of it, I spent 2 pence of it, and I took 2 pence home to my wife. Next we have Bye Baby Bunting. Bye Baby Bunting. Father's gone a-hunting, mother's gone a-milking, sister's gone a-silking, and brother's going to buy a skin to wrap the baby bunting in. Next we have Tom, Tom the piper's son. Tom, Tom the piper's son stole a pig and away he run. The pig was eat and Tom was beat, and Tom ran crying down the street. And pictures. Okay, as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is titled Comical Folk. In a cottage in Fife lived a man and his wife, who, believe me, were comical folk. For 2 people's surprise, they both saw with their eyes, and their tongues moved wherever they spoke. When they were asleep, I'm told that to keep their eyes open they could not contrive. They both walked on their feet, and 'twas thought what they eat helped with drinking to keep them alive. Next we have Cock Crow. Cocks crow in the morn to tell us to rise. And he who lies late will never be wise. For early to bed and early to rise is the way to be healthy and wealthy and wise. Cocks crow. Could that be a rooster that goes cock-a-doodle-doo? In the morn, is morn short for morning? Let's read that again. Cock crow. Cocks crow in the morn to tell us to rise. To tell us to rise is to tell us to get our sleepy heads up out the bed. Rise up out the bed. Cocks crow in the morn to tell us to rise. And he who lies late will never be wise. And he who lies late, he who wants to sleep in late, they say will never be wise. For early to bed and early to rise is the way to be healthy and wealthy and wise. So the earlier you go to bed, the earlier you will wake up in the morning and be on time, because it is important to be punctual and be on time. So to be on time in the morning means you have to go to bed early at night. And there's a saying, it goes, the early bird catches the first worm, which means whoever gets up early and ready to start their day is gonna find whatever is out there to find. They're gonna find it first. Our next nursery rhyme is called Tommy Snooks. As Tommy Snooks and Betsy Brooks were walking out one Sunday, says Tommy Snooks to Betsy Brooks, "Will marry me on Monday?" On the next page is a picture titled Cock Crow. And the pictures. Okay, and as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is titled The Three Sons. There was an old woman had 3 sons, Jerry and James and John. Jerry was hanged, James was drowned, John was lost and never was found. And there was an end of her 3 sons, Jerry and James and John. Notice all 3 of her sons start with the letter J. Jerry, James, and John all start with the letter J. Our next nursery rhyme is titled The Blacksmith. Robert Barnes, my fellow fine, can you shoe this horse of mine? Yes, good sir, that I can, as well as any other man. There's a nail and there's a prod. Now, good sir, your horse is shod. Our next nursery rhyme is called Two Gray Kits. 2 gray kits and the gray kit's mother all went over the bridge together. The bridge broke down. They all fell in. May the rats go with you, says Tom Boylan. Our next nursery rhyme is called 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. Boys and girls, I think you might have heard of this one before. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, knock at the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, a good fat hen. 11, 12, dig and delve. 13, 14, maids a courting. 15, 16, maids in the kitchen. 17, 18, maids a waiting. 19, 20, my plate's empty. Our next nursery rhyme is called Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo! My dame has lost her shoe. My master's lost his fiddlestick and knows not what to do. Cock-a-doodle-doo! What is my dame to do? Till master finds his fiddlestick, she'll dance without her shoe. Our next nursery rhyme is titled Pears or Pears. 12 pears hanging high, 12 knights riding by. Each knight took a pear, and yet left a dozen there. Pairs, P-A-I-R-S, is when you have two of something. I have a pair of shoes. I have two shoes. I have a pair of gloves. I have a pair of mittens. I have two gloves. I have two mittens. And then the other pair, P-E-A-R, is the fruit, a pear that you can eat. Bell Elsley is our next nursery rhyme. At the siege of Belle At the siege of Belle Elsley, I was there all the while at the siege of Bally's. Oh, pictures. Don't forget your pictures. Okay, hope you can see them. And as we turn the page, I see a picture. And our next nursery rhyme is called Old King Cole. Old King Cole was a merry old soul. A merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers three. And every fiddler he had a fine fiddle, and a very fine fiddle had he. Tweed-diddle-dee, tweed-diddle-dee, went the fiddlers. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers three. Next we have see. What shall I see? A horse's head where his tail should be? See? What shall I see? A horse's head where his tail should be? Our next nursery rhyme is called Dapple Gray. I had a little pony. His name was Dapple Gray. I lent him to a lady to ride a mile away. She whipped him. She slashed him. She rode him through the mirror. I would not lend my pony now for all the ladies hire. A well is our next nursery rhyme. As round as an apple, as deep as a cup, and all the king's horses can't fill it up. Our next nursery rhyme is called Coffee and Tea. Molly, my sister, and I fell out. And what do you think it was all about? She loved coffee and I loved tea, and that was the reason we couldn't agree. Our next nursery rhyme is called Pussycat Mew. Pussycat Mew jumped over a coal, and in her best petticoat burnt a great hole. Poor Pussy's weeping, she'll have no more milk until her best petticoat's mended with silk. And let's check out the pages. And as we turn the page, Our next nursery rhyme is called The Little Girl with a Curl. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrid. Our next nursery rhyme is called Dreams. Friday night's dream on Saturday told is sure to come true, be it never so old. Our next nursery rhyme is called A Cock and Bull Story. The cock's on the housetop blowing his horn. The bull's in the barn a thrissing of corn. The maids in the meadows are making of hay. The ducks in the river are swimming away. Our next nursery rhyme is called For Baby. You shall have an apple. You shall have a plum. You shall have a rattle when Papa comes home. Next is called Myself. As I walked by myself and talked to myself, myself said unto me, look to thyself, take care of thyself, for nobody cares for thee. I answered myself and said to myself in the self-same repartee, look to thyself or not look to thyself, the self-same thing will be. Next we have Over the Water. Over the water and over the sea and over the water to Charlie. I'll have none of your nasty beef, nor I'll have none of your barley, but I'll have some of your very best flour to make a white cake for my Charlie. Next we have Candle Saving. To make your candles last for awe, you wives and maids give ear to put them out's the only way, says honest John Boldero. Oh, almost forgot to show you the pictures. Okay. As we turn the page, I see a picture titled Lady Bird. Our next nursery rhyme is titled Fears and Tears. Tommy's tears and Mary's fears will make them old before their years. Next we have the Kilkenny Cats. There were once two cats of Kilkenny. Each thought there was one cat too many. So they fought and they fit and they scratched and they bit till accepting their nails and the tips of their tails, instead of two cats, there weren't any. Next we have Old Grimes. Old Grimes is dead, that good old man. We nearer shall see him more. He used to wear a long brown coat, all buttoned down before. Next we have a week of birthdays. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for its living. But the child that's born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay. Next we have a chimney, black within and red without, four corners round about. Our next nursery rhyme is titled Blackbird. Whoops, it's titled Lady Bird. That's the picture, that's the title of the picture when I first turned the page. Lady Bird. Lady bird, lady bird, fly away home. Your house is on fire, your children all gone. All but one, and her name is Anne, and she crept under the pudding pan. And pictures. And as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is titled, The Man Who Had Naught. There was a man, and he had naught, and robbers came to rob him. He crept up to the chimney pot, and then they thought they had him. But he got down on to other side, and then they could not find him. He ran 14 miles in 15 days and never looked behind him. Next we have the tailors and the snail. 24 tailors went to kill a snail. The best man among them durst not touch her tail. She put out her horns like a little cow. Run, tailors, run, or she'll kill you all in now. Next we have Around the Green Gravel. Excuse me. Around the green gravel, the grass grows green, and all the pretty maids are plain to be seen. Wash them with milk, and clothe them with silk, and write their names with a pen and ink. Next we have Entry, Mintry, Cuttery Corn, Apple Seed and Apple Thorn, Wire, Briar, Limberlock, 5 geese in a flock, sit and sing by a spring, out and in again. Next we have Caesar's song, Bow Wow Wow, whose dog art thou? Little Tom Tinker's dog, Bow Wow Wow. Our next nursery rhyme is called As I Was Going Along. As I was going along, singing a comical song. The lane that I went was so long, and the song that I sang was so long, and so I went singing along. Our next nursery rhyme is called Hector Protector. Hector Protector was dressed all in green. Hector Protector was sent to the queen. The queen did not like him, no more did the king. So Hector Protector was sent back again. Next we have Billy. Billy, come and play while the sun shines bright as day. Yes, my Polly, so I will, for I love to please you still. Billy, have you seen Sam and Betsy on the green? Yes, my Pol, I saw them pass, skipping o'er the new mown grass. Billy, come along, and I will sing a pretty song. Next we have Rock-a-bye baby, rock-a-bye baby, thy cradle is green. Father's a nobleman, mother's a queen, and Betsy's a lady and wears a gold ring, and Johnny's a drummer and drums for the king. Next we have the man in the wilderness. The man in the wilderness asked me how many strawberries grew in the sea. I answered him as I thought good, as many as red herrings grew in the wood. And as we turn the page, oh, I almost forgot to show you the pictures. Okay, hope you were able to see those. And as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is called Little Jack Horner. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating of Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Next we have the bird scarer. Away, birds, away. Take a little and leave a little, and do not come again. For if you do, I will shoot you through, and there will be an end of you. Next we have Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? Silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all of a row. Next we have Betsy Bell and Mary Gray. Betsy Bell and Mary Gray, they were two bony lasses. They built their house upon the lea and covered it with rushes. Betsy kept the garden gate and Mary kept the pantry. Betsy always had to wait while Mary lived in plenty. Now the next page is a picture by Blanche Fisher Wright titled Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. And let's take a look. Here are some pictures. And on this page is Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. Okay. And as we turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is called Needles and Pins. Needles and pins, needles and pins. When a man marries, his trouble begins. Next is called Pussycat and the Dumplings. Pussycat ate the dumplings, the dumplings. Pussycat ate the dumplings. Mama stood by and cried, "Oh, fie! Why did you eat the dumplings?" Next we have Dance, Thumpkin, Dance. Dance, Thumpkin, dance. Dance, Thumpkin, dance. Dance, ye merry men, everyone, for Thumpkin, he can dance alone. Thumpkin, he can dance alone. Dance, foreman, dance. Dance, ye merry men, everyone. But foreman, he can dance alone. Foreman, he can dance alone. Dance, long man, dance. Dance, ye merry men, everyone. For Longman, he can dance alone. Longman, he can dance alone. Dance, ring man, dance. Dance, ye merry men, dance. Ring man. But Ringman cannot dance alone. Ringman, he cannot dance alone. Dance, little man, dance. Dance, ye merry man, dance. But little man, he can dance alone. Little man, he can dance alone. See my fingers dancing. Thumpkin, foreman, merryman, long man, ring man, merryman. Next we have Mary's Canary. Mary had a pretty bird, feathers bright and yellow, slender legs upon my word. He was a pretty fellow. The sweetest note he always sung, which much delighted Mary. She often, where the cage was hung, sat hearing her canary. The canary is a bird, a canary bird. Our next nursery rhyme is titled The Little Bird. Once I saw a little bird come hop, hop, hop. So I cried, "Little bird, will you stop, stop, stop?" And was going to the window to say, "Hope, how do you do?" But he shook his little tail and far away he flew. Our next nursery rhyme is called Birds of a feather. Boys and girls, you may have heard this one before. Birds of a feather flock together, and so will pigs and swine. Rats and mice will have their choice, and so will I have mine. And pictures. And as I turn the page, our next nursery rhyme is called Tongs. Long legs, crooked thighs. Long legs, crooked thighs, little head and no eyes. Next we have Jack Jingle. Little Jack Jingle, he used to live single, but when he got tired of this kind of life, he left off being single and lived with his wife. Now, what do you think of little Jack Jingle? Before he was married, he used to live single. Next nursery rhyme is titled The Quarrel. My little old man and I fell out. I'll tell you what 'twas all about. I had money and he had none, and that's the way the noise begun. Our next nursery rhyme is called The Pumpkin Eater. You may have heard this one too, boys and girls. It goes, Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. On the next page, we have a picture by Blanche Fisher Wright titled The 10 O'Clock Scholar. Now, let's take a look at the pictures. Okay. And that, boys and girls, is where we're going to stop for today. I'm going to put my bookmarker so I know where we left off for next read, next time. And I'd like to tell you that we're more than halfway through the original Mother Goose. So we are getting to the end of these nursery rhymes. We have about 1 or 2 more sittings of the original Mother Goose, and then we move on to another book. I thank you for sharing this time with me and listening to me as I read to you the nursery rhymes from the original Mother Goose. I hope you like all of the nursery rhymes. And until we meet again, remember to eat some fruits. Remember to eat a veggie too. Remember to drink your water. And remember to brush your teeth. Brush them good for at least 3 minutes long. And until we meet again, stay healthy, stay safe. So long, my lightning bugs. Farewell, my fireflies. Shine bright, let your lights shine bright. Shine bright, my bright light, shine bright. And I will see you later, and I'll see you real soon. Until we meet again, shine bright, my bright lights, shine bright. Stay healthy and safe. Shine bright, my bright lights. Shine bright.